Hi, my name is not Arwen, you can call me Anna. I have finally finished reading The Lord of the Rings, and I loved it. The Return of the King was a lot easier to read than the first two books, I think partly because everything was building to the climax, to the crucial moment where Frodo actually reaches Mount Doom, and the battles are all raging and it's just coming down to this final moment, so I think that just really excited me, and I felt really emotionally involved with all of the characters. With that being said, I was pretty surprised by how fast the plot was progressing in this book, until I realized that the plot wasn't progressing too fast for how many pages there were left, and in fact, it's just appendices at the end. I feel like I can't compare the writing style in this book to anything that I've read recently, just because this was written a long time ago and everything that I've been reading recently is kind of like contemporary new releases, or at least things written more kind of nowish. And I definitely think that's one of the reasons why I found it so hard to start getting into, just because the writing style was so different to what I'm used to reading. But in the end, I am so glad that I pushed through and forced myself to keep going, because I absolutely loved this book. I am so glad that I read it all and I went through the journey and found out more things that are in the books but aren't in the films. I'm so glad that I did that. While I was reading this book, I also wrote down in my phone just a little like summary of what the books in the whole series contain, and I wanted to share that with you. So I came to the conclusion that 10% of the books is about the characters. It's not much, but it is done well. 20% of the books is about the plot, done so well that you would probably argue with me that it's more than 20%. And lastly, 70% of the books is description. Don't get mad, I've already said that I loved it, but there was a lot of description. That was my main issue with reading these books, just the amount of description. So some other quick things I want to mention just about this book. There is so much more in here than is in the films, so if you've only seen the films, please read the books. I think I've said that in every single review video so far. Do it! It's definitely worth it, just even for like the character interactions and things like that. Like something you don't really see in the films, and this is a slight spoiler, so I mean if you're planning on reading the books and you don't want a spoiler, then don't listen. Faramir and Eowyn. They are like my new OTP. I can't even. Like, they're just amazing, and Eowyn is so, and Faramir, and just, they just, I was messaging my sister while reading this, well, specifically reading the Faramir and Eowyn parts, because I was just mush, I was goo, I was just melting. Told you, I'm a sucker for good romance. So that was something I really loved. Another thing I found really surprising was the fact that Arwen only comes into it at the very end. Like, you don't know about Arwen until she arrives, and they're like, we're getting married! Okay. I could ramble for a lot longer. In a nutshell, I loved this book. If you want to check out my reviews for all three of them on Goodreads, I'll put those links down in the description. I gave this book in particular 5 stars, although the other two I think I might have given the first one 4 stars. I can't remember if I gave the second one 4 or 5 stars. But basically I rated the first one down because of the description, and by the end of it I was just like, I can overlook the description because you know what? Everything else is so good that the description doesn't matter. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below letting me know if you agree with my percentages of 10% character, 20% plot, and 70% description. And if you don't agree with me, leave your own percentage ratios for me to check out. I'll see you next time. Ciao for now, monkeys!